Thanks, Andrew. I'm here to talk tonight about negotiations. I figure with an MBA JD, I have something to share. This is actually my mental model of how I approach negotiation. I can't cover all of that in 5 minutes, so I have some really particular circumstances and some tactics I think you should use. The first is, if you've ever been pulled over by a police officer for speeding, you know that that officer has an option between giving you a warning or giving you a speeding ticket, right? And so what do you do in that particular instance? Well, the first thing you need to do is go to your happy place. Get control of your emotions, because that's the only way you're gonna make a rational decision about which tactic to choose. So back to the speeding ticket, you wanna choose the right tactic. And in this instance, I recommend altering their perception. In other words, do whatever is the opposite of the thing that everybody else does, which is usually like yell or get nervous, right? You say to your very kind officer in a very polite way, "I'm sorry, officer, that I was going too fast. Thank you for pulling me over. I needed a reminder to slow down." If you can say that genuinely, I think your odds go up of getting the warning. I have used this tactic successfully. Next negotiation, your car you find booted in the parking lot. Who's with me? You're infuriated, right? Okay, go to your happy place. And then the next thing to do is find the right tactic. In this instance, I recommend playing the stupid American. It turns out it works in this country too. So, you want to make the person who booted your car think that you're the most pathetic loser on the face of the planet, and the last thing they need to do is charge you $100 to unboot your car. So, I am so stupid. I should have known that there was no parking on the streets in Beaver Creek. I've never been here before. I must have missed the signs. This worked in Beaver Creek, by the way. I got out of a $100 boot. Next negotiation, you get a bill in the mail that you don't agree with. They've made a mistake. You're infuriated once again, right? You call up the company, but you're really calling up a person. This is where I say be hard on the problem, but soft on the person. Be polite and find a balance between your interests and theirs. So what that might sound like if you were to say, alter their perceptions about who you are as a person and be different from the people who are calling into the call center, I don't think it's fair for me to pay a late fee because there was a mistake, but I'm willing to pay the remaining balance today. I have used this to talk down late fees and cut my bills in half when they've made mistakes. So definitely worthwhile. Next negotiation, you're negotiating for your salary and your potential employer says, "How much do I need to pay you?" And you don't want to anchor a number on a number that's too low. So you say, well, I have another tactic. I'm going to change the criteria. Instead of judging my salary against past salaries that I have, I'm going to judge this salary against salaries that you've given other people for the same position without giving you a number. And the way that might sound is match the highest salary you've ever offered a person of the same caliber for this position. This is great. It might not work, but it's worth a try. I know of at least one person who has tripled their salary for an engagement by that. But there's a warning with that particular tactic. You can't use a number or they'll give you the number back. So please, if you give that highest matching salary line, don't include a number. You have to actually have an interest in matching your peers and not a specific salary. So last thing, what if you run into a bully? What if you run into F and he's being a bully? What do I do? Well, there's a tactic for that. First, remember, go to your happy place. And then, I don't know if you can see it. Okay, name the game. This is a great skill to take the conversation away from the substance of what you're talking about and describe the bad behavior that the other person is doing. So there's actually a great episode of Private Practice, and this person was being badgered by the lawyer, and she said, "I just want Lucas to be happy. So if that means tearing me apart and making me look like the most horrible person on earth, go ahead and do it." She was naming the game and made the person who was doing the bad behavior feel shame, and they changed their negotiation. Last thing. We have opportunities to practice negotiation skills all the time with our family, with our friends, with our significant others, and with perfect strangers. So please try different roles, try different tactics, and good luck with your negotiations. I'm Julie Penner, Penner J on Twitter.